All right, man. So basically, if you're sick and tired of like waking up, getting into your car, and driving to your 9 to 5, and constantly working like a full-time job where it feels like you don't have any time left, and maybe you've seen some people online, right? You've seen some guys online. You've seen the kind of lifestyle you can have by having online income, but you're just not sure like how to get started with that. So I'm not an expert in this field, but I'm on the journey right now to achieving that. And there's a lot of different things that I've learned along the way that I think could really help you because when it comes down to it, bro, you're gonna have a really hard time making online income and actually being successful in business while still working a full-time job. It's just gonna be really difficult. I'm just being 100 with you. Like a lot of people would say, "Oh yeah, bro, just work on the side. Just work on the side. You can start your business from there." And but it's gonna be difficult because you're not actually working 40 hours a week. This is what a lot of people don't get, and you might not have thought of this yet, but you're not working 40 hours a week. The 40 hours a week is what they tell you you're working, but in reality, you're working more like probably 60 hours a week because you have to think of all the time that you spend thinking about your job when you get home from work, all the time you spend commuting, all the time if you like prep your meals and you bring like food to work, like you bring your lunch to work instead of buying like meals out just because it's so expensive. That all calculates in, bro. So you're really in reality, you're probably spending more like 60 hours a week at work. It's just you're not getting fucking paid for it. And so if you're one of these guys who's just like sick of this, like you're sick of having a boss basically telling you what to do, like having your life literally on the schedule of another person and helping them fulfill their dreams instead of fulfilling your own. And you want to actually start like an online business so that you can, travel the world, work from home or do whatever. This is how you formulate your escape plan. So like I said, it's going to be really difficult for you to get that 40 hours a week, right? It's going to be really difficult for you to become successful while working 40 hours a week at a full-time job just because it's not really 40 hours, it's more like 60 hours. And so there's really a few different avenues you can take. So number one would be, if you have a place to move back to, like if you're a young guy right now, okay, like me, you're in your 20s. If you have a place that you can move back to in terms of like moving in with roommates, moving back in with your parents, which I know you're not going to want to do, especially if you have your own place, because it feels like you don't have that freedom anymore, right? Because you don't, the relationship with your parents and you want to have your own privacy, maybe you want to have your own spot, like your own apartment. But what I'm telling you is if you can do that, you can massively reduce your expenses. And then that gives you extra days off that you can work on your business because you're not going to be able to work 60 hours a week and do 10-hour shifts and then come home and work on your business. And it's most likely it's not going to happen for you. Okay. It's just probably not going to happen for you. So the smartest thing that you can do is to try to get back into like your parents' house or share like an apartment with other people. Maybe even if you have a girlfriend right now, you guys are splitting the rent or whatever. This will allow you to minimize your expenses so that you can focus more on the business that you're trying to create. Because if it's just you right now and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to move out and get an apartment and all this kind of crap, and then you move out and then you have to work literally 40, 60 hours a week to make it, it's just going to be so difficult. So try to find a way that you can kind of scale back in terms of your expenses and so that you actually have room to move forward in terms of chasing this dream you have of starting an online business. And like I said, I would recommend like either moving back in with your parents, finding someone that you can share an apartment with, or at the very least, if you can, try to work part-time, right? Try to work part-time, try to find a job where you can work part-time because the reality is you need extra days. You need more time to be able to really fuel this business. It's getting a business off the ground is not as easy as all these internet gurus make it seem, okay? I'm telling you right now. So once you've done that, once you've actually scaled back in terms of finding a more reasonable place to live in terms of expenses so that you cut your expenses way down, you don't have to be working so much. What you then want to do is cover your baseline expenses. So maybe that would mean you work 2 days a week, 3 days a week. Maybe you're doing Uber, DoorDash, freaking some part-time job that basically doesn't take up a ton of your energy, right? Because even if you're working a job 3-4 days a week, if that's a very hard, taxing job, mentally or physically, that's also going to drain you for when you need to have your days off to work on your business. And since you're still making all that extra money, you're going to be thinking in your mind, oh, well, I'll just take these days off or I'll go like party on the weekend or something like that. So you got to make sure that you're actually focusing in on reduce your expenses, right? By minimizing your living expenses. And then the job that you're working or the way that you're going to make that money to cover the rest of your bills, it needs to be some like type of job or somehow where it's not really taxing you. Because if it really taxes you, those days you have off are basically just recovery days. They're not even, like, you aren't even going to make progress, bro. They're recovery days. You're recovering from those 3 or 4 days of work that you just had. And this is the thing that I didn't understand. And then once you've done that, simply from there, it's not that difficult, right? From there, you just need to think about what kind of business do you want to start. And I made a video recently called the $1 billion question that you should ask yourself, which is that, what do you actually want to be doing? Like, if we can imagine that any business that you're going to start online, you're making 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K a month, you're basically set for life, you don't ever need money again. What would you want to be working on every day? Because this is where a lot of people go wrong, and this is where I went wrong. I tried to study and start businesses like Amazon FBA, fucking Amazon drop shipping, all what all the scammers and shit tell you to do. And that wasn't aligned with who I was, because I'm much more the person who likes to coach. I'm much more a person who likes to share information and learn about things and read and do that kind of stuff. I didn't like dealing with physical products. So you need to think about, if I had unlimited money, what business would I want to be working on every single day, right? If I didn't need money, what would I be doing every single day in terms of what would I want to be working on? When you have the answer to that, that is the business that you pursue, and you go all in. So all of your extra time now, you go all in. You have to make sacrifices, bro. You cannot try to make this life transition, because it's a big transition. You cannot make this life transition, and this is what I've been realizing over time. You have to go all in. You can't just be like, oh, I'll work on my business 2 days a fucking hour, or 2 days a week and just play in a couple hours. No, bro, like literally every second you have to be focused in on making this work. So find that one business that you really enjoy. If you're like me, you're similar to me, say you enjoy reading, you enjoy learning about things, you enjoy like talking with people, you like making content, a coaching business is exactly what you should start. And you can do that either in like a one-to-one coaching format, or you can do that in like a group coaching format. And that's exactly what you want to start. And you want to be helping people achieve some sort of transition, like some sort of transformation. It could be physique, it could be more self-improvement related stuff like I do, it could be like quitting like addictions, or it could be improving mental health. There's got to be something that you do in order to give someone a transformation. And then you are basically just a person helping them do that. And the way you deliver that, again, it could be one-on-one calls like over Zoom or something, or it could be like group calls, like in like the community that I have, right? Like I do like the group coaching. You could do it that way as well. But that's the reality of what you need to do. And then you just need to continue to make content and make your offer. And eventually you'll scale to enough income to where you will never have to go back to your 9 to 5 again. You'll be able to travel. Like, bro, it really doesn't take much. I know you see a lot of these internet gurus, right? Making millions and millions of dollars online. But what I realize is it doesn't take that much. If you're not a super materialistic person like I am, like you don't need fucking, I don't need to drive around in a Lambo to try to act cool and try to, elevate your status. Or you don't need to buy the most expensive clothes. You really don't need that much. 5K a month, 10K a month is like literally your set. Even if you can just hit 2K a month, like even if you can just hit 2K a month, you don't have kids right now, and it's just like you and your expenses, bro, that's an insane lifestyle upgrade. You just elevated your status so much, and you've elevated not only your status in terms of society, seeing who you are, but also you've elevated your fulfillment in terms of doing something that you enjoy, and now having the freedom to go pursue that versus clocking in every single day at a 9 to 5 that you don't even really like. And you can actually have the freedom now, since it's online, you have the freedom to now travel the world and experience things that you want to experience, or just like work from home, if you just want to work from home. So this is kind of roughly a very brief overview of how you would go about formulating your plan to jump from the 9 to 5 and jump into online business. And I'm telling you right now, the most important things that you can remember is, number one, you need to find a way to reduce your expenses. Okay, you have to reduce your expenses. You have to move back in with somebody, find roommates, find a way to reduce your living expenses. Because if you have high living expenses, you're always going to be stressed out trying to pay those bills, and you're going to have to be working a ton of extra hours. So reduce your living expenses. Or another option that I actually forgot to mention was, another thing you can do is, if you have money saved up, if you have a good amount of money, 6 months, a year's worth of money saved up, you can then quit your job and then go all in. Because if you do the right things and you actually make sales, right, and you're actually making money and doing like coaching or something that you can actually make money with quick, unlike drop shipping and all this other crap that they tell you to start, you can actually get ahead, and you'll be fine if you have that 6 months, 1 year runway of savings. So either reduce your expenses, or just have a good amount of savings, and or work like part-time, right? Do like a part-time type of job, and then from that point you'll be good to go. So you got to do one of these things. If you could do one of those things, then you'll be good to go. Otherwise, just forget about it, because you're not going to succeed. So that's basically it. Just a quick intro to that. If you guys want more information on this, then let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you later.